Hey everybody, as you can see the background has changed, which means I'm home. I haven't put a video up for a while because I took a trip to Scotland over Thanksgiving break where I left my power cord for my camera, which meant I couldn't transfer any video from my camera to my computer. But that means I have a whole lot of video and I'm going to put it all together in one final mayhem moment. First off, at the end of October, I took a trip with Adam, Joel, Tim, and Hannah to visit Ben Cox, who was studying in Ireland. The first day, he took us on a tour of Galway, which is a nice little city on the western coast of Ireland. Oh yeah, he's back by popular request too. The next day we took a ferry out to the Aran Islands. They're about a 30-minute ferry ride off the mainland. Once on the islands, we rented bikes to travel on the islands. Aran Islands are crisscrossed with all these low stone walls that they built for sheep pastures. I'm really not sure where they got all the rocks from. I guess it's from the island. The first stop we made was at these cliffs. At the top of the cliffs there was an ancient prehistoric fort. The view from the cliffs was quite beautiful, especially there was a rainstorm coming in which you could see from miles away. But that also meant that we got rained on. The next place we stopped was an old church and graveyard. Finally, we stopped at a very cold beach in time to see a double rainbow. On Monday, we headed back first by taking a bus to Dublin, where we stayed for a couple of hours. Then we took the Ryanair flight from Dublin back to Nantes. The last trip I took this semester was over Thanksgiving break. I went with Joe, Mallory, and Jennifer to Edinburgh, Scotland. The first day Joe and I showed up at like 8 in the morning and we couldn't check into our apartment until 3 or something, so we spent most of the day just wandering around visiting free art museums and such. On Monday we all took a trip on the Harry Coo, which is a bus service which is technically free since it runs on tips. It was quite a lot of fun. The driver was very entertaining and knew a whole lot of stuff. He was a great tour guide. The first place we stopped on the tour was Forth Bridge, which was a bridge that was built in 1890. It was an engineering marvel at the time it was made, and in fact a guy named Eiffel came and looked at it before he built his little tower in France. The next place we stopped was Stirling Castle and the William Wallace Monument. Stirling Castle is one of the most important castles in Scottish history. It's a very strategic location, as you can if you control Stirling Castle, you can kind of control the whole country. The William Wallace Monument is not very far away from Stirling Castle. It seemed like most people in Scotland liked pointing out all the factual errors of the movie Braveheart. For example, did you know that Braveheart is not a nickname for William Wallace, but Sir Robert the Bruce, who succeeded him? Next we headed out towards the Scottish Highlands, which at this time of year are pretty brown. But during the spring and summer, all the heather flowers, and apparently it's quite beautiful. This is a Harry Coo, a Scottish cow that our tour bus was named after. Our last stop was this castle, which some of you might recognize from that modern classic work of cinema, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. The next day we climbed up to the two highest places in Edinburgh, Calton Hill and Arthur's Seat. Calton Hill is still inside the city. On top are several monuments. Arthur's Seat is a very tall hill in a set of crags just outside of the city. Wednesday, we traveled to Inverness, a town just off of Loch Ness. We took a bus out to Loch Ness and then got on a boat, which traveled across the lake. The boat dropped us off at Urquhart Castle, a castle ruin just on the lake. And on our way back, since we were in the UK, we got fish and chips. The next day we went to the oldest public building in Scotland, the Sheep's Hide Inn, which was established in 1360. This is haggis and Newton tatties, otherwise known as turnips, potatoes, and what's left of sheep. That day is when Edinburgh kicked off their Christmas celebrations. In the evening they were going to light their Christmas tree. So we're all standing here in this big crowd of people looking at this unlit Christmas tree, when all of a sudden these drummer people come out of nowhere. They come marching up the street in these ridiculous costumes. And they take like 20 minutes to get to the top of the hill. And finally when they get up there, they get put on a crane and turned into a giant percussion vocal. I believe this is far and away the most surreal, weirdest Christmas celebration I have ever seen. So finally, after swinging around for like 15 minutes, they turned on the Christmas tree, and then all of a sudden fireworks started going out of nowhere. They had also set up a Christmas market and a carnival, which were both pretty fun to explore. The last 2 days we spent exploring the rest of the city of Edinburgh. Then we headed back to Nantes. Joe and I flew from Edinburgh to Dublin, where we spent the night in Dublin Airport. I played countless games of solitaire. Then we spent the last few weeks getting ready for finals, taking finals, seeing that elephant from my first vlog entry walking around, and just hanging around Nantes. So that was pretty much my semester in France. I had a lot of fun, and I'm very, very glad I got to have that experience. So I had a lot of fun making these, and I hope you enjoyed watching them. Goodbye!
Look, could you just be quiet for like 5 minutes? Come on, please, I'm just trying to make a video here. No, whoa, 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 no, 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 no!